Hey Zach, what's happening, man? This is Impact ELR News and Reviews, Season 1, Episode 11. You been doing all right?
Oh, we have. We've been busy just like yourself. This is like mid-season for us. We got all kinds of stuff going and irons in the fire cooking.
Yeah, dude, it's been too busy. Because I know this has been, I didn't realize it had been a month since our last episode, and a lot has happened since then. So we got a lot of catching up to do and a lot of looking forward to do. So this should be a fun episode. Um, I think if I remember right, our last episode was right before the Barrage and the Mirage, the Deep South ELR Barrage and the Mirage down at Arena Training Facility. We were doing a preview of that, and so we have done that since then. And I had a great time. It was exactly what we said it was. It was super hot, and we had weather, of course, the whole time. We were sort of fighting showers. It was real rainy down there. Some of the fields down there looked like they had ponds in them. So we couldn't even go out in the field where we normally put a target, even in a side by side. Like it was too boggy. And that red clay down there is an amazing substance. If you put a T post in it and then let it dry hard around it, you might. I mean, it's in brick basically. And you had T posts that we'd go to drive and you could barely tap them and they'd be sinking. Like you had to watch it. I was really worried some of the impacts were going to settle them down so deep that we wouldn't be able to see them. So it was arena because it had been so wet. They hadn't been able to cut the grass, so the grass was about 2 feet tall. So you had that. You had the wet dirt, and you had several of the targets were not in any kind of berm or anything. So it led to some challenging conditions for the shooters. But it was a good match. I'm trying to see. Let me see. I've got some of the statistics over here. In heavy gun, we ended up with 22 shooters. Um, and yeah, it was good and a good group of shooters. As far as results, we had Dale Dials. He ended up winning it. Had a accuracy of 53.3% with a total of 35,000 points. That had targets. Let's see, I think we finished at 2305, I think is where our last target was. They started at 1710 and went out to 2305. And then we had Dwayne Russell coming in second, and Dakota Adkins followed immediately by his father, David Adkins, rounding out the top four. And then let's just give the top five Hunter Adkins. So you had 3, 4, and 5 were three Adkins. And so,
That's
but
pretty typical.
yeah, but for Dale Dials and Dwayne Russell, they were going to sweep the podium. So apparently, you either have to have your name start with a D or have Adkins as your last name in heavy in the deep south
Right.
because those guys crush it consistently. And then you have people like Dan Brock was right there at 6, another D. So
There's a
it's
lot of them too.
yes, yep. And but yeah, the heavy gun. I think Dale and the three Adkins are all shooting 50 cals, I think. And I'm trying to remember if Dwayne, I can't remember if Dwayne's shooting a Barrett or what he's shooting, or I can't remember exactly, but I know Dale and Dakota and David and Hunter Adkins are all shooting 50 cals, I think.
I don't think Dwayne is shooting a 50 cal.
No. I think he's on either a 375 or a Barrett or something. I'll have to go back and look, but he's not running a 50 yet. So but we had some newer or some new heavy shooters, some good heavy shooters, a strong class from top to bottom. It was good. We had a really good turnout on heavy. We had our win range at a minimum win. Looking at the ELR Alliance page, which is where I'm getting the results. If anybody ever wants to look, they can go to ELR Alliance and check out the Barrage and the Mirage heavy class. But our win ranged from 0.3 miles per hour to 14.7 miles per hour. So
Oh, that
not a
was nice.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, that 14.7 was probably in the storm we got right at the end of the day when the wind really picked up and blew in the thunderstorm that made it where we couldn't finish light. Our low temp was 70.3 and our high was 85.3. Of course, it felt a lot hotter, but that was where we were on that. Light class, we had a good let me see, a good turnout in light class as well. Let me see. We had a total. of, I think, 29 shooters, if I have that right. I thought we had 30, but I've only got 29 on my score sheet, so that may be it. Um, we had I think it was his second ever match. He had shot one of the Deep South matches before, so big shout out to Aaron Johnston. Came out and had a great match. Had 66.7% accuracy, went 20 for 30. And just, like I say, in his second match, running a 300 PRC, did awesome. Second was Tina Williams, the one of the key reasons Deep South even exists is Clifton and Tina Williams, and so Tina had a really good showing. Went 17 for 30 and had a silver medal, 31,206 points. And then third place was Bracken Burdett, which is another. I think it's only his second or third match, if I remember right. He hasn't shot a ton of them, so he got third with a 53.3%. And then I actually wound up fourth, and then Robert Wheeler at fifth to round out the top five. But a really good group of shooters. You had the Maxwells there, Johnny Brown, Bing Murray. It was good to see him on the line. James Murray. It's just good group of shooters that came out and fought the conditions. We had a few shooters. I think when the storm came in, we had 9 light gun shooters that didn't get to finish, unfortunately. And the way the storm was, as late as it was getting, we couldn't. That's a 1-day match, and we couldn't wait for it to blow through and then finish to go to the awards table and do the prizes, do the prize table. We had a tremendous group of sponsors. Clifton and Tina Williams had worked hard on them, and just really the Facebook Live video. If we do that as results at the end, if anybody has any questions, they can go back and watch that video. But man, we had sponsors that they had worked hard on that really supported the new shooters and the match. So we were really really thrilled with how it turned out.
Awesome.
Like,
That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it feels like it was a long time ago, and I realized it's really only a few weekends ago. But in my head, I mean, just after the work, you know how it is. After a match is over, you're
Yep.
tired for a week, and then you move on to the next thing, and it feels like it's a long time ago.
And
But
the good thing is we're having more of them. We're consistently having matches at
yeah,
least once a month along here for the East
yeah.
Coast ELR.
I
And
mean, good for the shooters, tough for
right,
us.
right.
So, uh, but yeah, but speaking of that, like I said, it's been a month. A month slipped by without us getting one of these put together. And so this last weekend, y'all had a match at Thunder Valley, right?
Yes, we did. We had the we called it our mid-season summer shootout.
Okay.
Even though we're a little more than mid-season, the heavy gun pretty much wrapped up for us now till
Okay.
the until September. So you're going to start seeing your invites go out here pretty soon. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
Okay.
Um, and a little more in detail on that. But yeah, we had a good weekend. Uh, Mother Nature tried to interfere with us, but I think we're just tougher up here than you are down there.
Well,
The weather gods really just don't like arena down there because man, you had snow one time, didn't you,
yes,
down
yeah.
there?
We've had 2 ELR matches there, and the first one got snowed out, and the second one rain hit at the end. And in deep South Georgia, that snow, I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah, we apparently I'm not paying the preacher enough. So yeah,
Gotta
but
put a little more in the offering plate when
that's right.
you
That's right.
buy. But no, we had a good weekend. Actually, one of the things we battled up here on Friday for our test and tune is uh, those Canadian fires that they've been having was
Really?
really bringing it was a thick fog, haze, smoke you could smell. I mean,
Wow.
we did get some shooting in out to a mile, but you couldn't do anything past that.
Oof.
And even late in the afternoon, as it was starting to let up a little bit, the winds were shifting. Man, splashes were hard to see. I mean, you could say,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, there's the plate, but you were having a hard time. I mean, we discussed like, hey, when we go out there to get the match prep, are we gonna paint corners of the plates, red or something to kind of give a contrast to?
Yeah.
Uh, but the weatherman kept saying, nope, the wind's gonna shift. We're gonna get some thunderstorms and no smoke on Saturday. And believe it or not, he was right.
Wow. Yeah. The one time, at least he got it right. Yeah.
The temperatures got a little better. I mean, it was still on the muggy side, but
Okay.
even that had broken. We were like stagnant. Like even Friday, riding up to Thunder Valley, it's about a 2 hour ride for me. And we take some back roads, and I said, man, every flag you see, haven't seen any of them just sitting dead, just dead limp. I was
Oh,
like,
really?
man, I've
Yeah.
never come to a match or getting ready for one. Normally, it's blowing every which direction. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
man, but it was just thick smoke and flags hanging limp.
Well, and for a match director, I would say that's probably the most like lack of visibility for any reason is the most
Right.
frustrating thing. Fog, clouds,
Saw
light rain, smoke. Ugh, that just drives us crazy because everybody's sitting on go,
right,
and
and I have
yeah.
people traveling from Florida,
Well,
Nebraska, Indiana. Uh, they're coming in. They're starting to come in from all over. We're really getting a good crowd and a good base of shooters. I think the East Coast ELR is growing.
yeah,
Uh, and people are hearing about it. And like I said, the last thing you want to have to do is cancel or call one short. I can't believe the emails and texts I got. We still shooting? Are we still shooting? And I'm like, yep, we're shooting. The weatherman says it's going to clear up.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, and surely it did. So was really happy to see that. We had a good
How was?
turnout.
Yeah, I was going to ask how your turnout was. So
Uh, we'd have had more if it weren't for that.
yeah,
Uh, we ended up with 15. I
okay,
think we had 18 to 20 sign up, and 15 actually showed up and shot heavy gun.
yeah,
So that's not bad. Our average has been around 20, so we were down a few in heavy,
okay.
but still a really good field. Like I said, we had people coming from Florida, Nebraska. Mott's was here from Florida,
I'm
and
about to say at least one of the Florida shooters had a pretty good shoot. We can get into later, but yeah,
yeah. Then we had a Chad Stevens. He comes, I think, from Nebraska.
yeah, yeah.
He came out. We've had him there a couple of times. He came out and shot both light and heavy with us. So we had some people, and Scott Kierstead. He's coming out of Indiana.
Right.
So, but yeah, we had from all over. So yeah, I'll reverse ours. Finishing in fifth was Tom Grant, in heavy
Solid,
with
solid shooter. Yeah.
yes he is. Yep. Well, 20,765, so 766 because he has a .9 on the end. We'll call it 66. Uh, and he had 9 out of 32 at a 28% impact, and those targets are all from 1780 to 2445.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good range.
Uh, so yeah, he went 9 of 32, and believe it or not, um, fifth through second are all 9 of 32s.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But the difference being when and where they hit the targets. So that also kept it close. Like I said, so Tom was in fifth with 20,766. Dwayne Russell finished fourth with 21,035.
Nice. Yeah.
So he had approximately no, he didn't even have 300 points on him.
Yeah. Man.
300 points.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And then you get to third. Tom Sarver was 21,200 points. So that's only 500 points between fifth and third.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you go to second. Joel Russo was 21,759. He is still less than 1,000 points ahead of fifth place.
Wow. Yeah.
So second
That's,
to fifth was literally 1,000 points. There isn't a
yeah.
target out there worth 1,000 points for those guys.
Well, I was going to say
Everything's
one of those consecutive hit bonuses or first round impact bonus makes a difference
any
there.
hit, but keep them. They
Yep.
start at 1780.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
hit anywhere.
Yep. Man. Yeah.
Doesn't would have been 1,700 points. Would have jumped them all the way from uh fifth to second.
Which, that also goes to demonstrate how rare an actual tie would be.
Right.
Because all those had the same number of impacts, and yet they still had at least some difference in the score. So, an actual pure tie on points is probably going to be pretty rare. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then just for point in case, well, Jason Carpenter finished sixth with
Okay.
18,525, 8 of 32. So only
Yeah.
one less impact. He
Yeah.
was in sixth, but he was 2,000 points behind the fifth place.
Wow. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
just shows you the difference between fifth and sixth was was double the difference between fifth and second.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's pretty wild. It's looking back at data is always interesting on these matches. So yeah.
yeah, especially in the ELR.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, Joel Russo was in second with a 9 out of 32, and actually just putting on a clinic.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mats Oscarson put on a clinic at 33,813, taking home
Wow.
100 points, hitting 14 of 32 at 43.8%.
Man, that is yeah, that's a gap. Wow. Good for Mott's. Congratulations,
Yeah,
Mott's. You've been
I
doing it
believe he's
right.
running the 416 Barrett, isn't he?
I think that's right. And I mean he's been putting in the work. He has shot a ton of matches. And he's really been putting in the work. So that's good to see that hard work paying off on that. So that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, like I
congrats.
said, that's one way that the point system works. You know, the ranking
Yeah.
points off the percentage, like PRS and all the other shooting sports in the world pretty much do. Uh, you know, he buried them. You know, the second place got 64.4 points, which
Yeah.
means just over half of what he did.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Scoring points. So yeah, he really had a good day and put on a clinic. Our weather conditions are a little more variable. Like I said, we had a low temperature of 73.2, a high
Yeah.
of 90. Minimum wind was 8.2, and max was 21.
Okay. All right. So that's yeah, that's pretty good then.
Uh, we had a couple of thunderstorms. It was funny. We shoot 3 relays.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the first relay, we had to stop for about 15 or 20 minutes for a pretty good 15, 20-minute storm, you know, where just you couldn't see. The wind blew, but I wouldn't say it was horrible, but that's probably closer to where we got some of our bigger gusts too. But
I got you.
uh, you know, so we get through that and the sun comes back out and it's beautiful, and sure as crap, halfway through uh relay number 2, all the same people are shooting in. So it was pretty much, if you were shooting in the sunshine, you were shooting in the sunshine, but if you were shooting in the rain, you were shooting in the rain all
Man.
day.
Yeah.
So, consistent conditions anyhow.
Well, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that's right. Your data should have been good if you got it the first relay. So yeah. Yeah.
uh, and honestly, the rain was probably a little easier to shoot in,
Okay.
uh, because it took
Oh,
down some of the mirage.
I'm about to say that's a hot take there. That could be controversial. Yeah.
But the it took down some of the mirage.
Yeah.
So we may have got a little haze from the rain, but it wasn't like downpouring. Uh,
So
you could
let me ask you a quick question on that. Then as a match director, what makes you stop? As far as it, do you limit it solely by visibility? Do you ask the shooter that's either about to shoot if they're able to see the targets? What's your line on drawing it during for rain for
that's
stop and
what we
shoot?
pretty much exactly what we did.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
we would ask the shooter though that was coming up, like, "Hey, are you comfortable
Hmm.
with this?" You know, and we're looking at it. We're all trying to be honest with one another. You know, and in most cases, when I said it was time to shoot, they had already agreed. Like, "Hey, let's go ahead and shoot." And when we stopped, like I said, we got one shooter in our second relay.
Yeah.
Uh, we stopped him mid thing, you know, between his first and second target. We were like, okay, it's starting to get pretty bad. I don't want you to, and it was a big jump. We were going from 1,300 yards to like 1,650, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah. Yeah.
we don't want you to have to make this jump because it's going to get hard. It's getting hard to see this target, or more uncomfortable. See, let's not make you shoot. And they were all, "Oh yeah." I said, "We'll stop the timer right here, and we'll
Okay.
restart it just like any other time. You know, you'll have the exact same amount of time to shoot again once you go back on the clock and this clears up some,
Okay.
or at least lets up, to where you're comfortable and you say, yeah, I'm comfortable. I can go back at it." Uh, but yeah, it started to cloud up on our third relay, but it never happened. It
Oh
was
good.
funny. I remember remarking to Brittany Mattis. She was helping light gun score, and I'm like, looked over at her and I'm like, "Here it comes." It looked like it was going to happen again on the third. I said, "And here we are, right in the middle." I said,
Yeah. Well, and God bless Brittany because she is always like you said she's helping. Of course she is because she's always willing to help, and I appreciate what both her and
All two.
Salvatore do at the matches. So
Yep. Yeah, they were another one that flowed in from the deep south there.
That's right. That's right. They were at I think they were at, they were at the Barrage in the Mirage. I'm pretty sure. If not, regardless, they've been at a ton of other ones, and I always enjoy sharing a firing line. And anytime I see their matches, their names pop up for a match that I'm running, I know I'm gonna have some good quality shooters and people with me. So I appreciate Brittany and Salvatore a lot. So
But there were a lot of us that were super excited about Mott's winning. I mean, it was a big
yes,
deal for him. And man, talk about a classy guy. Never see him down, man. I've seen him have
no,
some rough days, but man, he's there laughing and patting people on the back and congratulating the winners. And I was really glad to see it was his turn.
yeah, I'm sure it made that drive home a little bit easier for him.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, and it got him some gas money.
I
Uh,
did.
this match was sponsored by American Rights Movement and Francis Alexander. He stepped up and he doubled our regular prize purse. You know, we normally pay 500, 300, 200 to the
Mhm.
first three positions in the um, both divisions, light and heavy.
Right.
Uh, I'm still surprised at the number of people that don't realize that, but yeah, we pay 500, 300, 200 to the top three positions in uh, heavy and light gun in our
Yeah.
matches, and Francis doubled that. So the winners were 1,600 and four, or 1,600 and 400.
Nice. Well, and I always
Uh,
appreciate what Francis and the American Rights Movement does for ELR, especially
yep,
East Coast ELR. So,
yep. Joel's always there.
yep,
Terminus, you know, is one of the title sponsors of the series. He's always got his actions there, and he puts those up on the table, and we've been random drawing those so that everybody has a chance
yeah.
at getting
Well,
them.
and Joel, look, Joel demonstrates what they can do. I mean, he's always near the top running his terminus actions.
Yeah,
So,
he finished second here in heavy.
yeah,
Uh, we'll bump over here to light gun,
yeah. How many light gun shooters do you have?
31.
31. That's a good turnout. That's awesome.
For a second there, it's kind of like, what do you mean results aren't available yet? But yeah,
Well, that is
weather
one of the
conditions
advantages.
again.
Are you on the ELR Alliance webpage?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
cloud-based system, man, that is so nice at a match where you know it's saving on the cloud, and it's backing it up. And like I said, your heart may drop for a second, but then it's there. So,
yep,
yeah.
yep. And so yeah, we had 31. Uh, and again, we had some drops because of the guys that were weather. At one point, we were up over 35 that were
Yeah.
going to be there, and so we had some last minute drops. But we've still managed. Going off on a tangent here, real quick.
Hmm.
We still managed in the East Coast ELR, because I was looking at it today. We've still managed to bring in, on average, 30 shooters to every East Coast ELR event this year for light gun alone,
Good. Good.
and we're right at 18 shooters per match at on average at heavy gun, which is, I think, incredible for
Yeah.
uh, you know, just to get those numbers consistently. Now, keep in mind, we've had 9 uh, East Coast ELR light guns and 8 heavy, so it's not even a small sample. We've had pretty much a match a month from February till now.
Yeah.
We've been right at those numbers, so being able to keep stride with having those many shooters attend. So hats off to the shooters. Thanks.
Yeah.
Please keep
That's what I
coming.
was going to say. Yep. Thank you. Thank you so much, our shooters, for continuing to come out and support us, and mainly thank you for supporting new ELR shooters that are showing up at these matches too.
Yeah,
Again,
be your friends.
Yep, the ELR shooters are, to me, the best shooters out there, and the community you get at a match, it just makes you want to come back. So, special hats off to our shooters, both light and heavy, and both for coming out and just supporting the matches. I hope to see it more the rest of the year. But getting into light guns, since you gave us the top 5 on heavy, that's about 30%. What's the top? Let's do the top 10 on light gun and just
Okay,
see.
we'll start with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that'll be
That's
30%. Yeah,
so finishing in 10th, at an even 50%, 25,444 points. Of all, my dad, he came out, he shot, he
nice.
finished 10th. Paul Moran. That was his second match this year, and made the top 10 with his 300 normal. He was pretty excited about that.
No, he should be. Yeah. And hey, look, your top 10 are 50% or higher on accuracy. That's great.
The funny thing is, I had to talk him into shooting on Saturday because in the test and tune, we had a coyote target up at a mile,
Yeah.
and on the first round he hit it, and he looked over and says, "That's it." I said, "You hit it dead center, right below the hook." He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yep." He's like, "That's it. I quit. I'm not shooting around no more. The rest of the week, I'm gonna put it away."
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but coming in ninth is Sarah Goody. Her and
Nice.
Adam came out. I think this was their second matches this year. They were down there at the Barrage and the Mirage, I believe, but that was the
That's right.
first time they were getting out. This is the second time they've been involved in a move and uh, getting squared away in a new place and getting the reloading stuff set back up. And Adam and her are looking excited about getting out to a few more of these the end of the year. And
Nice.
uh,
Nice.
that's good. It was good to see them out there again at Thunder Valley with us.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Yep, and Sarah finished a 17 to 32, just above 500 at 53%. Uh, just ahead of her, only again by 300 points, was Bracken Burdett, finished
Oh,
eighth.
good. Yes. Yes.
Uh,
Glad to see Bracken keeping some momentum going into y'all's to the Thunder Valley match.
yep, 17 to 32, 53.1. Thunder Valley regular Jeff Raymond, he come in seventh, 19 to 32 at a 60% impact rate, really good showing.
Right.
Coming in sixth, Francis Alexander.
Oh, good.
How
Excellent.
about
I'm
that?
glad.
That was his
Yeah.
first top 10. He was over the moon. And
Oh,
if you
really?
know,
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, if you'd have told me that, I would have been surprised it was his first top 10, because he's slowly been putting it together, and I would have thought so. Good for Francis. I'm glad to hear that. That's great.
shooting a new 33 XC,
Nice.
uh, but yeah, he was super ecstatic. And if you know Francis, you know he's pretty excitable guy, a lot of enthusiasm. So you can imagine he was pretty excited about finishing sixth with 20 out of 32 and a 62.5% intact percentage. And I'll make note because he was super excited about he hit what we call our hot bore, which is a
Okay.
one MOA plate, 18-inch circle at the mile
Hmm.
with his last shot. So he was pretty. We call that our hot bore. You get one shot at it after you finish your shot of five on what we call a big plate, the 30-inch plate.
I got you. I got you.
You shoot your regular five shots and then you slide over next to it there, and they have an 18-inch circle on a T post that you get one shot at. We call that your hot bore. Makes
Nice.
our matches 32 rounds instead of 30 because we have a 10-inch circle at 1,000 that's your cold bore. So
Okay.
that's where we get our 32 rounds. Everybody, oh, how are you getting 32 rounds?
What's your score for those? How do you do your score for those?
We just let it go with the alliance. It scored as a cold bore, which is for like a same as a first round impact. I think the one at
Okay.
a mile is like 1,900 points because it's 1.1 times the
Okay.
distance.
I got you. I got you.
Uh, could we do something more? Probably because, like I said, a one MOA target at that distance is a pretty small target, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
it's enough. 1,900 points to hit it is a good. That last shot. Some you wouldn't believe the number of people need it, and we'll get into it up here because starting at Francis in sixth place, we had something very similar as we did in uh, heavy. From this is from sixth all the
Okay.
way to second was only 2,000 points.
Wow. Yeah, one hit basically.
Right at those
Yeah.
distances, right?
Yeah.
That one hit. Uh, and literally that's it. Like I said, Francis was a 20 out of 32. The next one, two, three, four spots are all 21 of 32s.
Yeah. Seems
Uh,
like the
and
formula is working. That's pretty cool.
and I won't give it away just yet if you haven't looked, but the winner, I won't give the name up yet, but 22 out of 31 was the winner. So he
Wow.
was only one shot in front of second,
That is
and
tight.
just over 1,000 points, one
Wow.
impact.
Yeah.
Uh, so after Francis in sixth, you had Chris Hampton in
Nice.
fifth place. Uh, Followed, or I should say, in front of him was Steve Oberlander.
Oh,
If
good.
anybody
Yeah.
knows, he shoots with Joel a lot.
That's right.
really good guy. They travel around together like me and Eric do. They're spotter and shooter, and two great guys. Both of
Yep.
them. Joel ended up third. I know you're going to
Okay.
see if you were there at the match. We ended up doing it. We actually had a correction to make.
Okay.
Uh, and it comes down to me, but we were able to get it all sorted out. Uh, I wasn't scoring that because I was shooting that thing,
Mhm.
and our one of our scorers had it right on paper, but didn't get it right in the computer. And
I
we
got
went
you.
back, and I later asked, is it wasn't until like it was all over and we were there, and I was at dinner with them, and I'm like, I know I hit one more.
Hmm.
I hit two at a mile, not one. And
Right.
they're like, yeah, yeah. And we looked up. I said, but that's not what the electronic score sheet says. So we checked the paper one, and it was marked on the paper one right, but it was not that my fourth impact or my fourth hit or my fourth shot was not marked as an impact.
I got you.
So
I got you.
after we adjusted that there, but we didn't go back and change anything other than that. It did change the order. Me, Joel, Steve. We really don't care where we finish.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
amongst friends. It's all good.
Right.
Uh,
Well, and I try to tell people we as the match directors we want to get it right. Like nobody is
right.
ever trying to cheat anybody of any score, and that's why we have a paper copy too. We always want to
Right.
get it right. So
And that's exactly what I was going to say. That's why we keep that. I check them after the fact. I will usually spend part of Sunday
mhm.
if a match is on Saturday going back and just making sure that all the X's were X's and that the paper copy matches the thing. And I keep those for a year. So if
Yeah,
anybody would ever have a question or whatever, um, you can do that. We were crunched for time. We didn't do any review, and most of the time I don't review my stuff
sure, sure.
till like later. And it was just like we were looking at, and it was only because it was so close. I'm like, man, where could have I had one more hit? Where could I have picked it up? And I knew where it was. I went to sleep on the first target at 1,000 yards and only went 2 out of 5, and I was really disappointed in myself, not my rifle. And most of it, believe it or not, was I didn't trust my dope. I
Yeah,
thought I didn't need enough, and I shot the first one, and it went low. And I said that was just a slow round, and I wouldn't
sure.
adjust it. I shot the next one, and it went low, and I went, that's still not right.
Yeah,
And by the time I sent the third one, I'm like, okay, maybe it's low, and I added the 2/10, finished
yeah,
a string, and clean. Well, hit it with the last two shots. Then I went on, wrote actually dialed the dope that I had written down for the second target and cleaned it.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
after it was all done, I went back and looked down on what I had written, and sure enough, I just had not dialed the 2/10
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that I had needed. I was 2/10 short, and the gun was probably telling me, "Hey, you didn't dial enough."
Yeah, yeah, man, that is it. It's always it's funny when you go back, but hey, at least you know your data was right. It was
Right,
just the loose nut behind the trigger.
right. So,
So,
yeah, I cleaned the target 2, clean target 3.
nice.
Uh, so yeah, after that, I was listening to the dope and took off. But man, would have loved to have. So we'll get there. But I told
Yeah, yeah.
Joel, so he ended up third at 32,503 points. There was only 200 points,
Wow,
250 points between him and Steve in fourth,
wow. Yeah,
and there was like 800 points between me and Joel. That's why it was so close. I went from fourth to second
right, right.
uh, with picking up that impact that hadn't got scored.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so I was in second with 33,389, 65%
Nice.
impact, and good friend of both of ours, Dave Posky, he won it.
All
He
right.
he's
Yep.
been like the bridesmaid there. I mean, a couple of times, like right close there, to trying to get that 100.
Yeah.
Second place, third place.
Hey.
He's been right there, and I was glad to see him take it. Like I said, with 22 or 30, he shot in the first uh, group of shooters. He shot in the morning. Like we run heavy and light the same,
I
and
got you.
when our second squad of light shooters is actually made up of the shooters who shoot um, heavy and light, or have spotters that shoot in light while heavy is. So we make up a second squad of light shooters, and they start their course of fire after heavy's completed, because I was short on ROs and I ended up having to score light. Eric Jones bailed me out and helped score up in heavy,
I got you.
and me and Brittany and Sal, we worked on getting light done, because that's a big job. We had 20 or 21 shooters in light in
Oh
one
yeah,
squad.
yeah, yeah.
So
One squad.
that's
Yeah,
in one squad, and
yeah.
then um, I shot in the second squad, just that way I wasn't back and forth and trying to get a gun set up and score. And Brittany and Sal stayed on and helped and ran that second squad, so that uh, of light, so that we could concentrate on shooting and not have to run back and forth. We use Clay's cameras. They're awesome. They're great. Glad we have them. But
Nice.
Sal
Yeah.
stayed on glass and backed those cameras up, especially with some of the conditions we had. He was there to help, just confirm, yep, that was an impact. That wasn't an impact. Uh, Along with the cameras, like I said, we dual we're using lights too.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're putting everything at our discretion to make this sure that everything's fair. Everybody gets shots that are counted. I mean, at the end of heavy, we went out and checked a few targets
Hmm.
just to look for skips, and one of them was. So trust us, a great deal of effort goes into making sure that if you got the points or you got the hit, you got the points.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, we really like to make sure that that happens.
Right.
Uh,
That's right.
so the integrity is there, and I do believe that's why a lot of people are coming. They realize. I think a lot of them see that we're trying to make this as fair and even a competition as we can, and have fun doing it at the same time.
That's right. Well, congrats to brother Dave Posky. I cannot be thrilled more. I mean, just a great shooter. I'm glad he rounded out the podium. Of course, you had another good finish. So glad to see y'all had a good match. What have we got coming up?
Uh, for Thunder Valley, we have our last regional match. That's not an East Coast ELR match. That's a Thunder Valley Series match. It'll be light, heavy, and tactical. That's August 22nd. That is a $125 entry fee one, compared to the 250s that are East Coast ELRs. It has a payout. It only pays the top shooter.
Okay.
Each of those divisions gets a prize and a trophy just for first place. That's one
Okay.
reason we can keep the entry fees low and keep it as a regional style match.
Gotcha.
Um, and those people uh, do get a path to our finale.
Okay.
Like if they would only shoot the regionals plus one of these, so they have to shoot at least two of the regionals and one of the East Coast ELR matches that are at Thunder Valley. So that stays in that
Okay.
series.
Okay.
Uh, because not all matches at Thunder Valley are East Coast ELR matches,
Sure.
but all matches at Thunder Valley are part of the Thunder Valley Regional Series.
Okay. Okay. I got
Uh,
you.
so we track those a little differently, and those top five shooters, even though they may not have had their second scores or a second menu, if they're in the top five, they'll be given an invite or an opportunity to attend the uh, series finale as a provisional. The
Okay.
same as I'd like to hope happens next year with Deep South. Maybe we could get
Sure.
something involved with them where they're doing the same thing. If some of those people can't get out of the region or have to really plan a trip, one place or another, and they're like, I just can't travel to get that
Right.
second menu in. If they shoot the Deep South series, which may be made up of 3, 4 matches, and one of which will obviously be East Coast, you're going to have opportunities to be one of
Right.
the East Coast Series matches
That's right.
uh,
That's right.
there. As long as they're one of those, you'll be able to take and do like a mini series that, if
Mhm.
for nothing else, allows those top five to get an invitational as a provisional to the finale.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
Most of those people are going to be doubled up. A lot of those people that are really interested in that do get out there and do that. But we just wanted to be fair and give at least some of the locals that are like, hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
like to take that next step. I just can't yet, but the PRS does a similar thing in their regions too. You can never shoot a 2-day PRS pro match, But if you finish in the top 5, 10, or whatever it is of the regional series in your
Right.
region and your section, they'll at least give you the invite. If you
Okay.
say, yeah, I'd like to attend a 2-day pro match, you'll be able to attend the finale as one of the regional provisional shooters.
Right. I got you. So we won't get much into the finale on this episode because we got one more match to talk about, and then what we will do is we'll give a big breakdown before the finale. We'll give shooters a better idea of exactly how that works and how that's going to go. But so you've got one more match coming up at Thunder Valley after the regional. So if you'll tell me about that one a little bit, how that's going to work. That's going to be a
Yep.
pretty unique match, I think.
Yep. It's going to be a pro am.
Okay.
It's going to be limited right now, I think, to 25 teams, 50 shooters. Um, that's where we're going to draw the line, just because of trying to get that all in one day.
Mm-hmm.
Thunder Valley has been really good about we brought this idea to them, and they're actually holding their nationals. They're a big paper shooters. Thunder Valley does 1,000 yard paper GBA matches, Global Bench Press Association,
Okay.
and 1,000 yards and a mile on paper. If you've never been to any of those are pretty interesting to watch who they shoot for group and score on paper.
Sure.
At 1,000 yards and in a mile. Their nationals is that same weekend, and I was like, oh man.
Ooh,
But
yeah.
Tom was like, hey, I think we can pull this off safely. We went over a few things. We still have a few minor details, but he's like, yeah, you can announce it. We're going to make it happen. What'll be interesting about that match, for not only being a pro am, but
Right.
we're going to be shooting out of the heavy pavilion. We're
Okay.
going to be light gun only,
Okay.
and we're going to shoot out of the heavy pavilion, which is going to not only give us a little different distances, a little different view of the targets that we shoot at. They'll
Okay.
still be from around 1,000, maybe 1,100 yards, to
Okay.
our farthest target's probably going to be 2,300.
Ooh, that's a poke for light gun.
It's going to go, and it'll be one of those ones where you jump from 1,800 to 23.
Ugh, yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
that'll be fun.
Especially for those folks. But I think that's exactly what we intended to be, as a fun target. All those guys that are like, man, I'd like to get a poke at one of those sometime. Here
Yeah.
you are. You're gonna get a chance to get a poke at 2,300 with your light gun. Uh, it's not the closest one. We could put it closer, but that target doesn't give you as much feedback as a
Uh,
2,300 yard one does. So
right.
and it's only like 40 yards farther anyway. So we said let's use a 2,300 yard one. It's
Right.
going to give our shooters a little better feedback. They're going to get 5 shots at it, and uh, I'll let you in. I've hit it with my 300 Win Mag before, so it's
Oh
doable.
yeah. Yeah, it's doable. Doable. That's right.
Uh, but it'll be fun, and it'll give everybody a chance to push that a little bit in a fun match, the pro am. So the way I was looking at it today, uh, just because, like I said, our fields are tight. I'm looking for shooters that finish 60% or below. So in other
Okay.
words, if your average score is like in our scores, they go by thousands. So if your average score is a 600 or less, you're probably going to be. We'll let you be eligible for an AM.
Okay.
If your average is just above that, we'd like to see you kind of shoot it as a pro. Uh,
Sure.
the
Sure.
course of fire is going to be exactly the same.
Okay. Okay.
So it won't matter that way. Your targets are going to be the exact same targets, the exact same. This is because how we're going to score this is, and Francis at Arm is the other one that's behind driving this. This was going to be another decent cash match. We're going to pay uh, the top 3 pros, top
Okay.
3 AMs, and top 3 teams.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, we're going to let you pick your own teams. We are going to try to monitor you on that, as far as Uh, I'll tell you now, I wouldn't let you and I shoot pro and am.
That's right.
We're,
That's right.
we're, we're both shooting pros,
Right. What? Oh, I thought you were
and
going to be
and
both
have to
amateurs. Yeah.
would have to have the am with us. I'm kind of encouraging, the father sons. We have a few of those,
Good.
and we'll give some discrepancies to husbands, wives. I'll call them because they're good friends of mine. Adam and Sarah
Right.
are
Right.
both right on that line. I said pick one. will let you both just pick one to shoot as an AM and one to shoot as a pro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sarah's clearly the pro, of the two. So,
Right, right, absolutely. But so yeah, you could. I told him, I said but that's kind of where we want the line. And at the end of the day, they're probably going to have as good a chance as anybody,
mhm.
I mean, because that's where their scores are.
Right.
Uh, and like I said, they're still going to be competing with each other, with other teams that are going to be very similar, probably stacked up.
Right.
Uh, but the idea is to keep the pro am spirit going. Like I said, you and I aren't going to shoot as a team, and me and
Sure.
Eric aren't going to shoot as a team. Uh, we're going to take a new shooter, someone
Right.
or somebody pick somebody that's been struggling, somebody that's really been trying
Yep.
but hasn't quite got there yet. You
Right.
know, bring those people in there, and let them get a chance to have a good finish, be mentored by somebody that is shooting pretty well. And the whole thing is just to have a good time. That's the
Sure.
idea of the
Yeah.
pro am. It's going to be that's if you don't know when that is, that's Labor Day weekend. It is
Okay.
a 1 day only. We're even giving you a break on the entry. We're going to knock that down to 150.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
300 for a team, 150 for the uh, per person. If you don't have an AM and you're a pro, we'll try to find you one. Let us know. Don't keep you from signing up. I'm probably going to put it up here this week
Okay.
on the Alliance site, and I'm going to probably put it up as two signups. I'm going to have one for pro and one for AM.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
uh, in
And just
there,
25 shooters per class.
right? It'll
Yeah.
probably be like 25 shooters per class. You go ahead and get signed up. Uh, I would say to help me out, like normally there's a spot to put your spotter when you sign up. Put your spotter's name in there, put your AM's name in there, or put your pro's name in there. That'll
Right.
help me match you up on a regular Excel sheet. So when it comes time to put those pros and AMs together, I'll be able to match them up that way.
Right.
Uh, One other quick thing that if you're watching this, that's the other thing I've gotten asked a couple times because I've floated this idea of how this would work. Uh, if you're a pro shooter and you, Sean, are normally my spotter,
Right.
that doesn't have to change. Your AM doesn't have to be your spotter.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, your regular spotter can be your spotter. The AM is really at that point there to observe and kind of see what's going on.
I got you. And
When
so,
it,
so the AM can be up there and on glass and all that, but it's
right.
just mainly as a chance to learn.
Right, right.
Okay.
And then as the uh, AM is shooting, if that were the case, like say you had your own, you and I were a team, and we took Andon with us
Mhm.
and he was your your AM,
Sure. Sure.
and it was better for you to be beside him, helping him dial or whatever. That's fine. Your spotter can sit up and be a spotter.
Okay. Great.
You
Yeah.
can kind of like 3-man team that uh with the AMs, and we'll give a little more liberty than we normally do with
Sure.
helping AMs. But still, we really don't want more than one person talking to the shooter, and that's for the shooter's benefit. The
Right.
shooter
Right.
doesn't need three people trying to give them input. So
Right.
if you are helping the team, make sure that goes to the spotter, and you and the spotter determine what information you're going to give to
Right.
the shooter. It's going to make it a whole lot easier for your shooter,
That's right.
uh,
That's
and a
right.
whole lot easier than somebody tell them no 2 10s, 3 10s. You're not right. You're left. Work that little spotter, whoever spotters, work that out with the spotter.
That's right.
Let the let them uh, tell that to the shooter as one voice,
Right.
uh,
Right.
for the shooter's benefit. Not because we're trying to be mean or tell somebody they don't know what they're talking, but just to keep the shooter from going insane and well, who's right? Pow. Okay, I just said something because I heard 6 different things.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So yeah. Yep. So
But so that's going to be a fun match.
yeah. And
One
that's
other
Labor
thing I
Day
want to bring up
weekend.
for Thunder, huh?
And
Labor
that's
Day
Labor
weekend.
Day. Yep. Yep.
One thing Thunder Valley started doing for our shooters, we've been bringing a good enough crowd. They do have a concession stand,
Oh,
and
nice.
going forward, we're trying to keep that open.
Okay.
So yeah, that's nice because our days are long. We have got people meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning. And a lot of times, by the time you know everybody's done shooting, we're done scoring and everything, it can be 5 or 6 o'clock.
Sure,
So
sure.
it's nice. It's nice there that Christine, uh, Tom's significant other, she
Yeah.
runs a concession stand there, and she cooks some awesome cheese brats and burgers. And if you're into the cold chicken wraps, they got that and fries and drinks, and you can get any combination of those for under $10, including the tip. So
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
that's a good deal. It's a good service. So like I said, the only way she can keep doing that is if people know about it and use it.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So y'all support, yeah, support anybody that's supporting us. So
Right, and
yeah,
and like I said, it's just a nice service. It was nice there the first time. I wasn't ready to eat my own shoe leather by the end of the
that's
match
right.
with all the running around.
That's
Uh,
right.
Good eats and at a reasonably priced
Yeah. There
for
have
that
been
match.
plenty of matches I've got through at the end of the day and realized I haven't eaten anything or very little, and I can tell. So yeah, it's nice to have that option.
But
All right. Well, we'll wrap it up tonight. But so regional match coming up on what date?
August 22nd.
All right, and then pro-am coming up on Labor Day weekend.
Yep, September 5th is the actual day of the match.
All right, and you
Uh,
can find both of those on the Alliance, or
the August match is already there.
okay,
The signups for it just opened up last week.
okay,
We're getting a pretty strong sign up for that already, and
good.
really want to see that one get filled up. Uh, that'll be a good match.
Mm-hmm.
And that pro am, like I said, I'm hoping to have all the details nailed down, and you'll see two links to it, one for pros and one for AMs.
Yeah,
If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'll help you figure out where to get signed up and uh, where you'll shoot. But like I said, come just plan on coming to that one, having a good time. Like I said, we'll have a payout for both. Like I said, light or for pro, for AM, and for team. So there's going to be plenty of opportunity to to get some of that money that Arm's pumping into the shooters here to try to gain some traction. And really appreciate him doing that. And
that's
we'll see
right.
you there.
That's right. There's nothing more American in celebrating the semi-quincentennial than the American rights movement back in some long range shooting. So I appreciate Francis doing that.
And just so you know, like I said, that's the other reason we're using the heavy pavilion, uh, is the targets won't be the same targets you're shooting 3 weeks later in the finale.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because that'll be close to the finale. So we'll have an episode about the finale coming up. Y'all stay tuned for that. Zach, anything else you want to leave them with tonight?
Nope, that's good.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. We're looking forward to the final stretch of the East Coast ELR series. Thank you for coming out and shooting this year. Well, again, we appreciate all our shooters, and we hope your data is true and that everything flies true for you. Zach, we'll talk to you again soon, man.
Yep, looking
All
forward
right.
to it. Bye.
Bye.